Our progress report says we are at stage 3, paragraph page 195. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and our last headword was did, newer type of
Did.
lesson.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So let's start with our revision.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just scroll down. Okay, here we go. Oh, I overshoot. Okay, first question, 89. Okay. Are you nearly always the last person to get up in your family? Are you nearly always the last person to get up in your family? Yes or no?
No,
I'm not
I'm not
nearly always
nearly
the last
always
person
the
to
last
get up in
person
my
to get
family.
up in my family.
My
My mother
is nearly always
is nearly
the last
always
person
the
to get
last
up in my
person to get
family.
up in my family.
Very good. What's the negative of I was? What's the negative of I was? The
The
negative
negative
of
of
I
I was
is I wasn't.
is I wasn't.
What's the negative of you were? What's the negative of you were? The
The
negative of
negative
you
of
were
you were
is you
is you
weren't.
weren't.
Very good. Was I at this school 50 years ago? Was I at this school 50 years ago? No,
No,
you weren't
you
at
weren't
this school
at this
50 years
school
ago.
50 years ago.
Were you here 100 years ago? Were you here 100 years ago? No, I
No,
wasn't
I'm
here
not.
a
I
hundred
wasn't
years ago.
here 100 years ago.
Very good. Was she in a different classroom last lesson? Was she in a different classroom last lesson? No, she
No,
wasn't
she
in a
wasn't
different classroom
in a different
last lesson.
classroom last
Last
lesson.
Right, were we in this world 90 years ago? Were we in this world 90 years ago? No, we
No,
were
we weren't
in this world
in this
90
world
years ago.
90
90
years
years.
ago.
Very good. Were they outside the classroom during the last lesson? Were they outside the classroom during the last lesson? No, they
No,
weren't
they weren't
outside the classroom
outside the classroom
during the last
during the
lesson.
last
They
lesson.
were inside.
They were inside.
Very good. Are there any fields near where you live? Are there any fields near where you live? Yes or no?
No,
There aren't
there
any
aren't
fields
any
near where I
fields
live.
near where I live.
Very good. Is the number of people in your town always increasing? Is the number of people in your town always increasing? Yes. The
Yes,
number of
the
people
number
in
of
my town
people in my
is
town is
always increasing.
always increasing.
Very good. Are there a lot of battles in a war? Are there a lot of battles in a war? Yes, there
Yes,
are
there
a
are a
lot of
lot of
battles in a
battles
war.
in a war.
Very good. Were there a lot of battles in Europe during the Second World War? Were there a lot of battles in Europe during the Second World War? Yes, there
Yes,
were a
there were
lot of
a lot
battles
of
in Europe
battles in
during the
Europe
Second World
during the
War.
Second World War.
Very good. Okay, where's my left hand? Where's my left hand? Your left hand's
Your left
over the
hand
book.
is over the book.
Very good. Where's my right hand? Where's my right hand? Your right
Your right
hand's
hand
over the pen.
is over the pen.
Very good. Where's my left hand now? Where's my left hand now? Your left
Your
hand's
left
on the
hand
book now.
on the book now.
Very good. Where's my right hand now? Where's my right hand now? Your right hand's
Your right
over the pen
hand
now.
over the pen now.
Very good. Why do we say my left hand is on the book, but my right hand is over the pen? Why do we say my left hand is on the book, but my right hand is over the pen? We say your
We
left hand
say
is
your left
on the book,
hand's on the
but
book,
your right hand
but your right
is over the
hand
pen
over the pen
because your left hand
because your left
is not
hand
covering
is
the
not
book
covering
completely,
the book completely,
whereas your right
whereas
hand
your right
is
hand
covering
is
the pen
covering
completely.
the pen completely.
Wait, again, what's over our heads? What's over our heads? The ceilings
The
over
ceilings
our head.
over our heads.
What's over your building? What's over your building? The skies
The
over my
skies
building.
over my building.
Very good. Okay, what am I doing? What am I doing? You're putting your right
You're
hand
putting your right hand
over your pen.
over your pen.
Very good. What am I doing? What am I doing? You're putting your
You're
left hand
putting your left
over
hand
your mouth.
over your mouth.
Very good. Do you think it's a bad idea to go to England if you want to learn English well? Do you think it's a bad idea to go to England if you want to learn English well? No, I
No,
don't
I
think
don't
it's a
think
bad
it's a
idea
bad
to go
idea
to England.
to
To go to
go
England
go to
if
England
I want to
before
learn
if I want to learn
English well.
English
I
well.
think It's a good
I
idea.
think it's a good idea.
Very good. Do you think it's a good idea to learn some English before going to England? Do you think it's a good idea to learn some English before going to England? Yes, I think
Yes,
it's a
I
good
think it's a
idea
good
to learn
idea
some
to learn
English
some
before
English
going to
before
England.
going into England.
Very good. Does it often snow in the warm countries of the world? Does it often snow in the warm countries of the world? No, it doesn't
No,
often
it
snow
doesn't often
in the
snow
warm
in the
countries of
warm
the world.
countries of the
It
world.
rarely
It
snows
rarely
in the
snows
warm countries of
in
the
the warm
world.
countries of the world.
Is it very often? Do you often go to the theater? Do you often go to the theater? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
don't
don't
often go
often go
to
to
the
the
theater.
theater.
I rarely go
I
to the
rarely
theater.
go to the theater.
Is it very often cold in Africa? Is it very often cold in Africa? No, it
No,
isn't
it
very
isn't
often cold
very often cold
in
in
Africa.
Africa.
It's very rarely cold.
It's very
It's very
it it's very
rarely cold
rarely cold
in
in
Africa.
Africa.
Very good. Does the sun often shine in the north of Europe in winter? Does the sun often shine in the north of Europe in winter? No,
No,
the sun
the
doesn't often
sun
shine
doesn't often
in the
shine
north of
in
Europe
the north of
in
Europe
winter.
in
It
winter.
rarely
It
shines.
rarely shines
Very good.
in
Okay, that's it.
it
It rarely
rarely shines.
shines. Very good. Do you understand two people when they speak very quickly in English? Do you understand two people when they speak very quickly in English? No,
No,
I
I
don't
don't
understand
understand
two
two
people when
peoples
they speak
when they
very
speak
quickly in
very
English.
quickly in English.
Do you understand everything I say during the lesson? Do you understand everything I say during the lesson? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
don't.
don't understand everything you say during the lesson,
But I understand
but I
nearly
understand
everything you say.
nearly everything you say.
Very good. If the first time you don't understand a question the teacher asked you, what must you do? If the first time you don't understand a question the teacher asks you, what must you do? If the first time
If the
I
first
don't
time
understand
I
a
don't
question the
understand a
teacher
question
asked me,
the teacher
I
asked
must ask
me,
him to
I must
repeat it.
ask him to repeat it.
Well, what exactly do you say to him? What exactly do you say to him? I say, I'm
I
sorry.
say,
I
I'm
don't
sorry,
understand the
I don't
question.
understand the
Will you repeat
question.
it,
Will
please?
you repeat it, please?
Very good. Do you think it's easy to stop smoking? Do you think it's easy to stop smoking? Yes or no?
No,
I don't
I
think
don't think
it's
it's
easy
easy
to stop
to
smoking.
stop smoking.
Very good. What does the verb to talk mean? What does the verb to talk mean? The
The
verb
verb
to talk
to talk
means to
means
speak.
to speak.
Do you talk to your friends on your mobile every day? Do you talk to your friends on your mobile every day? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
don't talk
don't talk
to my
to my
friends on
friends
my
on my
mobile every
mobile
day.
every day.
What does the teacher generally do if you start talking to the student next to you during the lesson? What does the teacher generally do if you start talking to the student next to you during the lesson? If I start
If
talking
I
to the
start
student
talking
next
to
to
the
me
student next to
during the
me
lesson,
during the
the
lesson,
teacher
the
generally asks
teacher
me
generally
to
asks
stop
me
talking.
to stop talking.
Is it right to say I am talking English? Is it right to say I am talking English? No, it
No,
isn't right to
it
say
isn't right to
I am
say
talking
I
English.
am talking
It's
English.
wrong.
It's wrong.
What must we say instead? What must we say instead? We must say
We
I'm
must
speaking
say I'm
English instead.
speaking English instead.
Can you hear any voices in the next room? Can you hear any voices in the next room? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
can't
don't hear
I
any
can't
voices.
I can't hear
I can't
any
hear
voices
any
in the next
voices
room.
in the next room.
Very good. What's the past tense of the verb to do? What's the past tense of the verb to do? The past
The
tense
past
of the verb
tense
to
to
do
do of the verb to do
is did.
is did.
Very good. Okay, next. Oh, and that's the end of our revision. Let's have new work. Very good practice. Very fast. Okay, so now let's start with past tense of regular verbs. Okay, so let's talk about past tense of regular verbs. Okay, repeat. Form.
Form,
Regular.
regular.
How?
How?
Did you walk a lot yesterday?
Did you walk a lot yesterday?
And then positive answer. Yes, I walked a lot yesterday.
Yes, I walked a lot yesterday.
Negative. No, I did not walk a lot yesterday.
No, I did not walk
A lot yesterday.
a lot yesterday.
Very good. Okay, listen. We form the past tense of regular verbs by putting the letters ed at the end. For example, walk, walked, talk, talked, work, worked, live, lived, etc. We
Mhm.
say I generally walk a lot, but past tense I walked a lot yesterday. Yeah, let's
Mhm.
practice. How do we form the past tense of regular verbs? How do we form the past tense of regular verbs? We form the past
We
tense
form the
of
past
regular
tense of
verbs
regular
by
verbs
putting the
by
letters
putting the
ed
letters
at the end.
ed at the end.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. For example,
For example,
walk, walk.
walk, walked.
I generally walk to school.
I generally walk to the
I
school.
walked to school yesterday.
I walked to, I walked to school
School,
yesterday.
very good. Did you watch television last week? Did you watch television last week? Yes, I watched
Yes, I
television
watched
last week.
television last week.
Did you walk to school yesterday? Did you walk to school yesterday? Yes or no?
No,
I didn't
I
walk
didn't
to
walk to school
school
yesterday.
yesterday. What did you use to answer the last question? What did you use to answer the last question? I used my
I
voice
used
to
my
answer
voice
the
to
last question.
answer the last question.
When did last season end? When did last season end? Last season ended
Last
on
season
the month
ended
of
on the month of
June.
June.
June, very good. Did you work last month? Did you work last month? Yes or no? I
Yes,
worked last month.
I worked last month.
Great. How long did last season last? How long did last season last? Last season
Last
lasted
season,
about
uh,
uh,
last
last season
last season
lasted about
lasted about
3 months.
3 months.
Very good. Did you live at home with your parents when you were a small child? Did you live with your parents when you were a small child? Yes, I
Yes,
lived at
I
home
lived
with
at
my
home with
parents
my
when I
parents
was a small
when I
child.
was a small child.
Very good. Did you move any part of your body during the last lesson? Did you move any parts of your body during the last lesson? Yes, I moved
Yes,
some
I moved
parts of
some
my
parts
body
of my body
during the last lesson.
during the last lesson.
Very good. Okay, listen. We only put the letters ed at the end of the verb in the positive if your answer is yes. To
Mhm.
make questions and negative sentence, we use did and the infinitive without to. So we say infinitive, the base form of the verb. For
Mhm.
example, did you work yesterday? So we just say work, not work. So
Mhm.
did you work yesterday? And then the answer is no. I didn't work yesterday. So there's no ed.
Mhm.
Okay, let's practice. How do we make a negative sentence in the past tense? How do we make a negative sentence in the past tense? We make a
We
negative
make a
sentence
negative
in the
sentence
past tense
in the
by
past
using
tense
the word
by using the word
did,
did
and the infinitive,
and
and the
and
infinitive
the infinitive
without to.
without to.
Very good. Give me an example. Give me an example, please. I didn't work
I didn't
last
work
Saturday.
last Saturday.
Very good. How do we make a question in the past tense? How do we make a question in the past tense? We make a
We
question
make a
in the past
question in
tense
the past
by using
tense
the
by
word
using the word
did,
did
and the infinitive
and the infinitive
without to.
without to.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. Did you work
Did
last
you work
Saturday?
last Saturday?
Very good. Did I ask you 1,000 questions last lesson? Did I ask you 1,000 questions last lesson? No, you
No,
didn't
you
ask
didn't
me
ask
a
me
thousand
a
questions
thousand
last lesson.
questions
Last lesson.
last lesson.
Very good. Did last lesson end at 11 p.m.? Did last lesson end at 11 p.m.? No.
No,
Last lesson
the last
didn't end.
lesson
Didn't
didn't
end at
end
11 p.m.
at 11
It
p.m.
ended at,
It ended at
let's say, 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Very good. Did you talk to anybody in your family last week? Did you talk to anybody in your family last week? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
I
talked to
talked
somebody
to
in my
somebody
family
in my
last week.
family last week.
Very good. Okay, next, did you call anybody on your mobile phone yesterday? Did you call anybody on your mobile phone yesterday? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
I
called
called
somebody on my
somebody
mobile
on
phone
my mobile
yesterday.
phone yesterday.
Did you want to come to school today? Did you want to come to school today? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
I
wanted to come
wanted to come
to school
to
today.
school today.
Very good. Okay, next repeat. Tree.
Three.
Very good. Okay, listen. Tree. Okay, so tree. So this is a tree.
Mhm,
Okay, there are some trees behind the Brown family.
mhm,
For example, I can see some trees from where I'm sitting outside my window.
mhm,
Okay, and tree is a noun. Let's
mhm.
practice. Can you see any trees from where you're sitting? Can you see any trees from where you're sitting? Yes or no?
N-
I
Yes,
can
I can
see some
see
trees
some trees
from where I'm sitting.
from where I'm sitting.
Very good. Next, repeat farm. Like farm.
A farm,
Pig,
pig,
cow,
cow,
sheep,
sheep,
chicken,
chicken,
horse.
horse.
Very good. Okay, listen. Farm, pig, cow, sheep, chicken, and horse are all nouns. For example, I don't live on the farm. I live in a city.
Mhm,
We can see pigs, cows, sheep, chickens, and horses on a farm. The
mhm,
plural of pig is pigs,
mhm,
cow, cows, chicken, chickens, horse, horses. But the plural of sheep is also sheep. Don't add s. Sheep,
mhm,
sheep.
mhm, mhm.
Okay, so let's practice. Do you live on a farm? Do you live on a farm? No, I don't
No, I
live
don't
on a
live
farm.
on a farm.
What's the plural
I
of
live.
sheep? Okay, I live
Sorry,
in the city.
I live in the city.
That's correct. Very good. What's the plural of sheep? What's the plural of sheep? The
The
plural of sheep
plural of sheep
is
is
sheep.
sheep.
Very good. Name some animals we can see on a farm. Name some animals we can see on a farm, please. On a farm,
On
we
a
can
farm,
see
we
pigs,
can see
cows,
pigs,
sheep,
cows,
chickens,
sheep,
and horses.
chickens, and horses.
Very good. Next, repeat. Bees. Bees.
Peace.
Very good. Okay, listen. Peace is a noun. It is the opposite of war. For example, there isn't peace between all the countries of the world at the moment. Let's practice. Is there peace between all the countries of the world at the moment? Is there peace between all the countries of the world at the moment? No, there
No,
isn't
there
peace
isn't
between
peace
all the countries
between all the
of the world
countries
at the
of the
moment.
world at the moment.
Very good. Next repeat. Measure.
Ma-
Measure.
measure.
Very good. Okay, listen. Measure is a verb. For example, 1 inch, 2 inch. Okay, let's say 1 inch, 2 inch, three. I'm measuring my pen. We
Mhm.
can't measure the quantity of water in the sea. Let's
Mm.
practice. Can we measure exactly the quantity of water in the sea? Can we measure exactly the quantity of water in the sea? No, we
No,
can't
we
measure
can't measure
exactly the quantity of
exactly the
water
quantity
in the
of
sea.
water in the sea.
Very good. Next, repeat. Necessary.
Necessary.
Very good. Okay, listen. Necessary is an adjective. It is the synonym of important. For example,
Mm.
it's important to study a lot if you want to learn a language well. Or we can say it's necessary to study a lot if we want to learn a language well.
Mhm.
Let's practice. Is it necessary to study a lot if we want to learn a subject well? Is it necessary to study a lot if we want to learn a subject well? Yes, it's
Yes,
necessary
it's
to study a
necessary
lot
to study
if
a
we
lot
want to
if
learn
we want to
a
learn
subject well.
a subject well.
Very good. Next, repeat. Pay. Like pay.
A pay, cash,
Card
card,
or credit card.
credit card,
Waiter.
waiter,
Waitress.
waitress.
Very good. Okay, listen. Pay is a verb. It means to give money to somebody for something we receive. Cash means money, like the paper or the coin money.
Mhm,
A credit card is a card we use to buy things that we agree to pay later.
mhm,
When we have a meal in a restaurant, we sometimes pay by cash, sometimes we pay by card.
mhm.
A waiter or waitress takes the money or the card from us. Let's practice. When you have a meal in a restaurant, do you generally pay by cash or by card? When you have a meal in a restaurant, do you generally pay by cash or by card? When I have a meal
When I have a
in a
meal
restaurant,
in a
I
restaurant,
generally
I
pay by.
generally pay by card.
Very good. And who takes the money? And who takes the card from you? And who takes the card from you? The waiter or
The
waitress
waiter or
takes the card
waitress
from me.
takes the card from
From
me.
me. Very good. Okay. Next, let's have along.
Uh,
Along.
along.
Very good. Okay, listen. Along. So, along is a preposition. It means from one part of a street, road, river, etc. to another. For
Mhm,
example, if I want to go from here to the station, I must go along ABC Street.
mhm,
There's a white line along the road from here to the next town. Okay,
mhm.
so along means along the way. Okay, so let's practice. If I want to go from there to the station, must I go along ABC Street? If I want to go from there to the station, must I go along ABC Street? Yes. If you want
Yes,
to
if you
go from
want to
here
go from
to the
here
station,
to the
you
station,
must go
you
along
must go
ABC
along
Street.
ABC Street.
Right, which streets do you walk along when you go home? Which street do you walk along when you go home? I walk along
I
one,
walk
two, three
along
street
123
when I go
Street
home.
when I go home.
Where is there a white line along the road from there to the next town? Is there a white line from there along the road to the next town? Yes,
Yes,
there's a white
there is
line
a white
along the
line
road from
along
here
the road from
to the
here
next town.
to the next town.
Very good. Okay, so now let's move on to reading.
Okay.
Very good. Okay, reading. We ended up at stage 2, paragraph page 106. Last headword was yours.
Mhm.
Okay, please start at stage 2, page 106. Headword his, hers.
His heart. Okay. Is that dress his? No, that dress isn't his. It's hers. Is that suit hers? No, that suit isn't hers. It's his. Are those hands his? No, those hands aren't his. They they're
There.
hers.
Very good.
Are those arms hers? No, those arms aren't hers. They're his. Ours, theirs. Are those legs ours? No, those legs aren't ours. They're theirs. Are these their books? No, these aren't their books. They're our books. Are these books theirs? No, these books aren't theirs. They're ours.
Next, infinitive.
Infinitive. Give me some example of verb in the infinitive, please. Some examples of verb in the infinitive are to come, to go, to take, etc. Or
Auxiliary.
auxiliary verb.
Mhm.
Which word is the auxiliary verb in this sentence? They can open the window. The word can is the auxiliary verb in that sentence. Which word is the auxiliary verb in this sentence? Do they walk to school? The word do is the auxiliary verb in this sentence. In that sentence,
Very good.
what does the verb to do mean?
In
The verb
Japanese.
to do means suru
Suru. In Japanese.
in
Very
Japanese.
good.
What am I doing? You're going out of the room. What do I do after the lesson? You go out of the room after the lesson. What am I doing? You're sitting down. What do you do before the lesson? I sit down before the lesson. What am I doing? You're standing up. What do you do after the lesson? I stand up after the lesson. The most.
Uh-huh.
Of, of these three books, which book has the most pages? Of these three books, this book has the most pages. Which city in this country has the most people?
Which city? Let's
Tokyo is the city in this country which has the most people.
very good.
Which person in your family reads the most books? My mother is the person in my family who reads the most books.
Very good. Okay, so we stop there for today.
Okay.
But